Hey everybody, it's Jennifer Terrell, your 4-H agent for the Southwind District, and it is Bake for Family Fun Month, so we're on our final week. And today I am going to make a classic or traditional Irish soda bread with you. So I have a little bit of Irish heritage, so I think that it'd be fun to do. So, and this is my first time making it, so we will make it together. So the things you need first is 2 cups all-purpose flour. That will go into the bowl. Then we need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar here, and that goes into the bowl. Okay, then we need a teaspoon of baking powder here. Then we need a teaspoon of baking soda. And then half a teaspoon of salt. And what we do with those first 5 ingredients, we will whisk those together here in a second, but I want to go ahead and go through the rest of the ingredients with you. So we'll do 3 tablespoons of cold butter, and you need to cube it, so we've got that. Then we also have 2 large eggs, so one is here, and the other we've already placed into our buttermilk, so we need 3/4 cup of buttermilk. And then we have a 1/3 cup of raisins. Okay, so the very first thing is we need to make sure that our oven that just dinged is preheated at 375, so it is ready to go. And then we'll whisk these 5 ingredients together, and we'll come back when we're all mixed up. Okay, so our next part, we had to whisk in our first 5 ingredients I talked about, which is the flour, brown sugar, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. So I gave those measurements earlier. Next thing is 3 tablespoons of butter that we will cut in to the mixture. And you want to make sure it's cold and that it's cubed up. So we'll just cut this in. And you'll just do this until the mixture resembles coarse crumbs. So we don't have to make it very smooth. All right, so now that we have cut in the butter, we are going to go to the next step, which is where in another bowl you're whisking the buttermilk. So we have 3/4 cup of that, and then we have added the egg. So we will just whisk it until it's mixed together. Okay, that's pretty well mixed, and now we add it to the flour mixture, and then we just are going to stir this until it's moistened. So I'm going to go ahead and use the whisk. Make sure I get everything out there. All right. So it says it will be pretty shaggy looking, and I think we have accomplished that. So now we will move on to our next step. All right, so the final step after mixing that mixture together, we needed to add our raisins. So I've added the raisins, and now we need to place the dough. We're going to turn it on to this lightly floured tea towel. If it'll come out. And I'm just going to grab this extra out of here as well. All right, so now we are going to knead this about 6 to 8 times. Get some flour on there. That way it won't stick to me as bad. Okay, so it's been kneaded about 6 to 8 times. The next step is to, today, we're going to change it up just a little bit because we are working with a toaster oven. And so we're not putting the whole chunk of dough or a whole ball of dough into what is recommended, which is a 6.5 inch round baking loaf pan. So today we're going to split this in half, and we are going to place it on 2 different cookie sheets. And so we will do that process here in a minute, but I'm going to need just a second more because I'm getting it a little sticky. But when you put it down into your 6.5 inch round loaf pan, you want to make sure it's in a ball, around round shape. And what you'll do is you'll take a knife and you'll score the top with an X. And then that just helps to make sure that the center of the bread gets finished when it's in the oven, that it bakes thoroughly. So that is the next step. Okay, so the next step is we've placed it onto our pan, so you'll want to make sure you're following the directions of the recipe, but we're trying to make do with what we've got. So we've scored the top with an X, like it says, and this one is rectangular shape. You'll want to make yours round. So that is what we've got. Then we have whisked the second egg, which was in our recipe, and you brush that along the top. I don't have a brush, so we're just going to make do with what we have, and I do have clean washed hands, and we'll just rub it across the top. Okay. All right, the next step is we will put it into our preheated oven, which is preheated at 375, and we will cook it in there for 30 to 35 minutes until it's golden brown. Then you will remove it from the oven and remove it from the pan, and you'll put it on a wire rack. And it's best to serve this warm. So make sure that you serve it warm for your guests or whoever you're making this for.
And this is the end result of the traditional Irish soda bread that is cooling on a wire rack, and you want to serve it warm to your guests. So enjoy and have fun making this recipe with your family.